So hey guys, it's your girl Mary back with another video. I asked you guys on Instagram whether you wanted to see a MJ fan tag or Q&A type video, and majority of you guys voted for MJ fan tag, so that's what I'm gonna do today. And when I tell you I've wanted to do this video for the longest time, I am not kidding you. Ever since I made my MJ fan account and YouTube channel and I started making videos and all of that stuff, I always wanted to do the MJ fan tag, because I mean, let's be honest, when you know someone is a fan of Michael Jackson's, you want to know how they became a fan, when they became a fan, what's their favorite songs, and the list goes on. You literally want to have a whole session asking them questions about Michael to see what they think about him, and if you guys are kind of compatible and same kind of Michael Jackson fans, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, for those of you who don't know, MJ fan tag is basically a list of questions and you just answer them. So if you want to do it, I urge you to make your own MJ fan tag video, because I love it when fans kind of keep making content and making videos and I don't know, do stuff, just dance videos, singing, drawing, whatever it is, because as you know, there's not much going on in MJ fandom right now, like in terms of new songs or new videos. We literally have nothing and we're starving, and so it really depends on us fans to make anything that we can. When I was little, MJ was everywhere. MJ was the artist that everyone was obsessed with. So, even the people who were not a fan of his later on were a fan of his at that point, in that period of time. And we're talking about, 90s. When I was growing up and I was little, 4 or 5 years old, I was introduced to him through his videos. I remember the first videos that I watched were Speed Demon, because I was afraid of that rabbit, and I remember the time. And I was always just mesmerized. What I find interesting is that kids find it so just interesting and captivating, and I even try to show it to kids nowadays to just see their reaction and kind of like to make them fans. As a fan, that's what you're supposed to do. So and all of them just find him so entertaining and just fun and beautiful, and so that's exactly my reaction too. I just knew that I liked what I saw. I liked his smile, I liked his dance moves. So yeah, that was kind of how I was introduced to him. And then later on, when I was around 8 or 9 years old, my sister became a fan, and she used to dance like him and make clothes like him and draw him and all sorts of things. And we were so hyped and excited about him, and we used to watch Ghosts and Blood on the Dance Floor. I remember the History album teaser, and I thought that he was an absolute god. And I remember the first time I saw History tour, Kuala Lumpur, that was the tour that we had, and I was so I was just blown away. I was like, is he even a human? Because obviously not. So but throughout all those years, even though I was a fan, I wasn't the kind of fan. I guess it was different back then because there was no internet, so it wasn't possible for you to be to be an obsessed fan who knows everything about their idol or whoever, their favorite artist. It wasn't possible. So I was a casual fan, but I wasn't a hardcore stan that knows every single detail about him. So yeah, this went on. I think I remember when Invincible album came out. I remember when Rock My World came out, and during the trials, I literally have no recollection of it. I think I was just not following it. I was completely distant from him. And after that, I just knew that he went to Bahrain, and then 2009 came, and I was 18 back then, and we knew that he was gonna do something and he was gonna come back, and that was all that I knew. I didn't know much. And then after Michael died, I basically just took a break from him, because everything about him made me sad. The way his life ended was just so tragic to me. It shouldn't have been that way. So yeah, after that, I took a break, and I was just like, I guess I'm done with him, I can't take it. I just cannot even look at his face because I just want to cry. So a couple of years ago, I think around almost 3 years ago, out of nowhere, I just felt like I needed to search his name. But it just happened, you know. And then I think I needed to get that sadness out of my system. So yeah, after that I just became a whole stan. Like, I started literally listening to everything, watching every single like video interview, listening to phone calls, like reading court scripts, everything you can just think of. And I was a casual fan my whole life, but I became a stan 3 years ago, if that makes sense. I would say the thing that really makes you stay and become a stan compared to a casual fan is his personality and his heart and his humanity. The fact that he really cared about people, he cared about Earth, he cared about children. He was genuinely a nice person, you know. Everyone who knew him says that, you know, he couldn't even hurt a fly. He was the sweetest person you would ever meet. He was just graceful in everything that he did. And really, there's no one else that you can just find who is like him, you know. And I mean that in not just comparing his talent and his art, but just his personality and who he was. He really, really cared about people and about those who are less fortunate, about children, about sick people, old people. He cared. He really cared. And yeah, I think when you really understand that, you can't not love him. You know what I'm saying? And you find yourself just having this immense love and respect for him. He's the kind of person that when you know about him, you're like, oh my god, what a small being, you know? Okay, this is kind of hard because I have, of course, like so many funny experiences about him, but the one that kind of happened recently, I'm gonna share that one. So basically, me and my friends, we were giving out flyers, you know, about the MJ Innocent flyers to people, and we wanted to find some tourists and give them the flyers. And so we went to the spots that we knew that we could find some tourists, and there was this German guy totally just living his best life, looking everywhere and taking pictures and stuff. And we knew that we want to approach him and talk to him, but we didn't know how, and we were so scared for some reason. So finally, I just decided I'm gonna do it, you know. And I went to him and I was like, hey, like, are you having a good time? And he was kind of shook. He was like, wait, what's happening? So and I started just talking to him, and after a while I just said, you know, like, have you heard the news about Michael Jackson and stuff like that? And he was like, yeah, I mean, isn't that all a bunch of lies? And I was like, an intellectual, I like you. So we gave him the flyer and we said, please just, you know, take a look at it, blah blah blah. And we kind of just, and his name was Sebastian. Hi, if you're watching. But it was just funny because after that we were thinking, did we just do this? Did we just walk up to a whole stranger and just start a conversation about MJ? And as it turns out, we did. So yeah, that was kind of cute. I would say first and foremost his eyes, because eyes are like the window of someone's soul, and I feel like when you look at those eyes, you see the pain, the sorrow, the sadness, the innocence, his kindness, everything, you know, basically his whole essence, you can see it through his eyes. So even though like he was a beautiful person, and his smile, his hands, his jawline, I mean, I could go on for hours talking about his physical attributes. Those who know me know what I'm gonna say. My favorite songs, my all-time favorite MJ songs are Human Nature and Lady in My Life, and it's because I just love the soulful Michael. After that, I would say, like, Who Is It? Liberian Girl, I Just Can't Stop Loving You. My favorite short film definitely is Ghosts, because first of all, I have so many memories of Ghosts, because it was just like when I was a kid. We used to watch it and we used to be blown away, just thinking, is this a human? How is he doing all these things, like peeling himself off and just scattering into dust and then coming back and turning into a big ghoul, and then, I mean, how, you know? And when I grew up, I still just realized that it's a masterpiece. First of all, can you imagine it was made more than 20 years ago? When you watch it, you don't even notice it. It's that timeless. And on top of that, the fact that he was so passionate about making it, so much so that he said, you know what, I'm gonna fund it myself. You know, this is very important, I have to do it. And I love to see him act. I love that he played all those characters himself. I love the visual effects, you know, the special effects. I love the choreography. I love the song choices. I love basically the whole concept and how it kind of parallels with what was going on in his life. There is this one video that I love so much. It's Triumph Tour backstage, and it's literally nothing, but I love it. I think they were at Gary, Indiana, and the guy asks, how do you feel that you're back, you know, in Gary? And he says, you know, we're happy because it's our home and we're making people happy. And I just love that video, you know, because he's so happy and bubbly and young and energetic, and it makes me happy. I had some stuff that my sister had left for me, like, you know, This Is It and Moonwalker and things like that, but I would say my real big chunk of MJ merch came from a fan who lives in Norway, and she was my first friend in the fandom, and she was such a sweetheart, and she just said, you know what, I'm just gonna send you this stuff that I'm not using and I want you to have them. So yeah, she sent me, you know, tons of like t-shirts and jackets and posters and all sorts of Michael stuff. So that was the first time that I felt like I have MJ merch, and it was a really nice feeling. And ever since then, I've kind of been collecting myself. You know, I buy anything that I see, and my sister sends me stuff, so you know, I keep it going. I try to just collect everything that I see that is Michael related. Probably my place, because first of all, I know that he wouldn't want to be out in the public and face the craziness out there. And I also know that he loved spending time with families and just feeling normal and, I don't know, doing the dishes and cleaning the house and stuff like that, you know, those ordinary stuff that we take for granted. So I feel like I would bring him home and we would watch cartoons and just talk. And I know we would talk about our childhoods and our experiences and things like that. And we would eat and we would just play games and have fun and gossip and things like that. And we would just have quality time, you know, one-on-one. It would be fun. I feel like I would definitely be shaking and crying, and I really want to say that I would be cool and I would be like, hey bro, like I really admire you, blah blah blah, but that's most probably not gonna be my reaction. I would probably be just crying, and I would just say I love you, thank you for everything, and something like that. I would just tell him that, you know, damn, this is hard. I don't know. I really don't know, because when you really imagine if you had a chance to say something, I mean, probably just thanking him and saying that I'll always, always love you, and you're a part of me. You're a part of my life and you're a part of my heart, and that's never gonna change. Yeah, I think so. I think Off the Wall era, because it always makes me happy because Michael was happy. Pre-Thriller eras, Michael was happy because there was none of that, you know, tabloid stuff and the craziness and the rumors, and he was more himself, you know, like he was out and about. He was having fun. He was living the best life. He was just being a 20-year-old, you know, young man exploring the world, and a talented man who had his whole life ahead of him, who was ambitious and wanted to do great things in life. And every Off the Wall footage that I watch always makes me happy, like no matter what, because it takes me back to a time when Michael had no troubles, almost no troubles. So yeah, that's always gonna be very close to my heart. A close second would be Bad Era. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you guys will be around for more content that I'm going to make in the future. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for everything. See you in the next video, I guess. you.